Now for the background. I love this when I get a completely blank canvas. I can do whatever I want with it. Now the reference pictures are no good at all. They're all fences and posts and all sorts of things which I don't want. But obviously we've got to put them outdoors, so we've got to have grass. Now the thing is, I've got to have everything out of focus, because if I don't, we're going to lose the picture. So I've got to think grass, that's greenish, greyish, maybe with a little bit of light in it, but out of focus. The other important thing is here. Now here I've got a contrast. I've got dark and I've got light. So I've got to have something medium tone here to make everything stand out. Okay, so that's the first thing I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be putting, or thinking about putting a strong colour here, but not too dark, because if it's too dark, we'll lose all the dark parts of the picture. Quite hard. So medium tone is what I'm aiming for, really. Now, I'm going to use the 270 as a base, because as you know, if you've seen me do this many times before, we put a base in. 270 is a good colour because it's soft, and being soft, it means it's going to go right into the paper. Now I'm taking a bit of time going around there. Remember, I put the dark edge on that, which I might or might not leave. We'll see how it turns out. Now, so that's the 270. That's going to go in all over. So there we go. Now you can leave me to play with that. I'm going to put it in. What I'm going to do is use my finger. I've also got another 270 here, which is one of my shorter ones, and I do tend to use the shorter ones up. See why I couldn't put the hair in, the whiskers in? I'd have lost them. And they go right around there. Fortunately, that's going to show up against the white. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to use my finger on that and blend it with my finger. And then up here, you can't do that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use my colour shaper. Ivory colour shaper, I think, is best for this, because you're going to need to come pretty close to the animal, and then you get down here and you can use your finger. Also, along the edge too, you will need to use the colour shaper. Okay, so I'll go all round there, and then when we come back, we'll start discussing the next tone. It probably will be green. What I'd probably do is use this one. This is a 172. Now, I've done this before quite a few times. I've used 172. What I might do, though, is switch from 273, which is my grey that I've been using, to 233. Don't make a lot of difference, really. Whichever one you use is going to be covered up. But 233 and 172 are cooler, because you can see on the end that's more blue than that one, which is more warmer. So I think that's what we'll do. Those are the next two, which we'll add on to and put on top of the 270. So I've got that far anyway. Now let me get on with it. Okay, that's all the 270 put in. And now the other two colours I told you we were going to use was 172 and 233. However, as I do this, I'm going to think about how I want this presented, because it would be rather nice not just to have a plain green or greeny grey variation, but maybe have something a little unusual in there. So I've got plans for it. We'll just see how it turns out. First of all, I'm going to put the green in. Now, because we're going to put a lot of colour in here, we don't want to crush the paper. We've already put a good layer of the 270 on, so I'm just going to be a bit more careful now as I put the green on. And I'm going to put the green evenly over the bottom half anyway of the picture. Again, I've got to get quite close to that edge of the mouth, and same down here. This is a colour we don't want to stray onto our horse. Okay, I'm going to blend it so it doesn't matter which way it goes. Okay, so that's the first colour, and then into that the 233. Now this one I'm not going to be quite so even with. I want this to be just a little bit patchy, if you like that. And there's a bit of depth at the bottom, and I do plan to make that just a little darker at the bottom here. You can sort of imagine maybe there's some bushes here, quite dark, and then we go into some light, maybe a dapple look with light and green up there. That might work well. So let's continue with that then. The green here. When I get up to here, I want to sort of imply that there's light coming through, but bear in mind this is a distance. So therefore we want to create that illusion. And I think maybe, let's see how that works out. See a few little, maybe a little grey spotting. Yeah, see how that works out. Well, I've got your attention, and then I'll continue with it. Now, you're not going to see very much at the moment, because that's very light. But it tells me whether or not this is actually going to work out. I think it might do, actually. You see these light areas? I can't get in there with my finger very easily. Get as close as I can, and then have to use a colour shaper. The reason I resist this colour shaper is that they're good that they are, they're not anywhere near as good as your finger is for creating the effects that I'm trying to achieve. Now let's show you. I know whether you can actually pick it up on screen, you might not be able to, but there are some light spots in there. So this will be more even. But again, if I can retain areas where the grey is, we could well end up with a really nice effect. Actually, the reason this is going in so well, folks, is we've got the 270 underneath it. It acts as a brilliant base for. You see the idea? Got that in there. The idea is then, if that works out, is to continue with other colours and bring other colours in, stronger colours in, some greens, more grey. I've got to be careful of not making it too green, so we've got to use the greys a lot here, as well as the green, so it's a green and grey mix. Otherwise we're going to end up too green, and I don't want that on this horse.